What's up guys, it's the Russian Genius, and in this video I am not gonna be focusing so much on all of these fancy vanishes and color changes, but I'm gonna be talking about how I got started into magic, because some people have been asking that and I am super excited to talk about it right now. I got interested in magic when I was about 13 years old, or approximately 13 or 14 I think it was. I don't exactly remember the age. I started off doing magic with a cheap deck of cards. This is by far the cheapest deck I could find, so while explaining the story, I'm gonna try to do a few tricks with this deck. Boom, just like that, gone. When I started learning magic, I was using a deck of cards like this, and matter of fact, I can probably improvise a trick with this deck right now, so let me just give it a try. First of all, it is in order because we just, opened the deck. A lot of people ask me what kind of cards should I use, and really it doesn't matter what cards you use. Buy the cheapest deck you can find, it doesn't matter, because you can do tricks with, literally any deck. Like look, you can take the 6 of diamonds and you can get it to jump to the top just like that. If you want to learn this jump, then check out my website TheRussianGenius.com, because I've made a pretty cool course on this move. Anyways, I'm gonna show you a trick, alright? Let me show you a quick trick with this deck. We are gonna need 4 cards in total. Here are the first 2, and then let's take one more, and now we are gonna need one last card. So let's say that it is the Ace of Hearts. So here's how the trick goes, basically. The highest card is the most important card, which basically is not the 9 or the 7 or the 8, but it is actually the Ace of Spades. So look, I'm gonna take the other cards, and now I can put this in my pocket, because the ace is gonna do all the magic. Now look, if I just wave over the cards, look what happens. There's the spade, there's the ace of clubs, and there is the ace of diamonds. All the cards change into aces. That is a pretty cool trick. Anyways, let's get back to the story. How did I get started in magic? I was about 14 years old, but before that, I remember when I was 9 years old, people used to play games with cards, and I just used to look at the cards and I used to think, how can I cheat in this game? How can I win? So when I was about 8 or 9, I was already thinking about that from a young age. But really, I started doing magic kinda when I turned 13 or 14. That's when I kinda really got interested in magic. I got interested in rap music when I was 7, and then I started doing it at 11, but I got interested in magic at about 13, 14. I remember I was cleaning out my room. I wasn't interested in card tricks back then, but I just found a random deck of cards. It was an old deck of cards from Iceland, because I lived in Iceland for, 7 years, and then I lived in Denmark for about 7, 8 years. I also spoke 4 languages completely fluently at 14. I spoke Russian, Icelandic, Danish, and then English, or at least I like to think that my English language is kind of fluent in a sense. But I was sitting at home about 14 years old, and I found a deck of cards in my closet. I was just vacuum cleaning the place and I found a deck of cards. The deck I found was the worst cheapest, the worst deck I've ever tried. It was way worse than this deck or any Indian deck I tried. I believe it was either the Samskip playing cards or it was the Iceland Air playing cards. I don't remember if it was cards from a ship company or from a airplane company, but I grabbed the deck and I started learning stuff because I remember someone showed me a magic trick like a long time ago, and I tried to remember that trick in the back of my mind. You know, I just started to handle a deck of cards a little bit. I started searching tutorials on YouTube, and I remember finding Miss Mac, which was awesome, and I was learning some of the tricks, and then I remember I learned this false cut, which was incredibly difficult for me. I think it took like a few weeks for me to learn at least. And after that, I started to learn, you know, stuff like the double lift, for example, which is a brilliant move and a little bit difficult to do if you want to do it good, you know. And then I was heavily interested in learning card tricks, not color changes, but then later on I started learning a lot of different color changes from videos, DVDs, and not really from books, because magic is a visual form that you learn best visually than from books, because you read a book, you think you know how to do it, but you end up making a mistake sometimes. You have to be a really good reader to be able to read books and learn magic the way they want you to learn it, then learn it from a video, if that makes any sense, which it should. I remember I was 14, I was practicing tricks, I tried learning a few flourishes here and there, and I was just showing magic tricks to friends, family, and other people and strangers, and I started getting, you know, invitations to perform magic and stuff. And I remember that one of the tricks I always did was the trick I showed you where the cards turned into the 4 kings. I was slowly starting to get hired after doing magic for 4 months, for maybe 6 months or 7. Magic is a really interesting art form because you don't have to be good to be good in magic. You can suck at magic like a lot of people do and still get hired and impress people, because some magicians who you might call as, you know, move monkeys, they can do incredible stuff with a deck of cards, while other people, they just can't do anything, but they use tricks that are self-working for kids and for adults, and they are still able to impress them. And a lot of times it all depends on presentation. For example, when you perform, I want to do one move with this deck of cards. I want to change the 2 of spades into the 5 of diamonds, just like that. So I was 14 years old, I was doing magic, and then when I was 15, I was getting really good at it, and I started learning the classic pass after about 16 months of trying magic. By the way, I'm 20 years old right now, so I've been doing magic for about 7 years, and learning magic for me wasn't difficult, because if you are doing something else like rap music or telling stories or comedy, you have to be creative, but in magic you don't have to be creative. While I was learning magic, I had 2 friends with the same name, which is kind of odd, but they were doing magic with me, and one of them, we did it for about a year and then he stopped. My other friend, his name is Morten. I will put a link to him in the description if you want to check him out. As I said, both of their names are the same, but Morten is a great, fantastic, funny comedian and an amazing magician, an amazing comedian as well. And you know, he does everything in Danish. I learned Danish fluently, Icelandic fluently, Russian fluently, and English fluently, I think. In my opinion, it's fluent. But my Russian language kinda got worse because I was speaking Icelandic, English, and Danish, and then I wasn't speaking Russian as much. But let's move on back to the story. I was hanging out with Morten, and we were just doing card tricks on a weekly basis for a few years, I think. We were hanging out, maybe not on a weekly basis, but maybe like once every 2 weeks, and sometimes a few times a week, and we were, you know, having fun doing card tricks, watching DVDs when I bought DVDs or books and he bought DVDs and books. We had an awesome time, and then when I was living in Denmark, I'm thinking about moving back to Denmark, but when I was living in Denmark, they had like magic competitions, and I never really joined the magic competitions. I think I joined it one time, and I didn't really practice on it, and I was stuttering a lot as a kid, and I still stutter sometimes unless I write music consistently. I'm in love with rap music. I love rap and hip-hop, and that's what I am doing on my second channel. Check it out if you haven't seen it. When I was 16, I was getting really good at card magic, and you know, magic is not difficult. You take something, you learn it, and then you practice the finger movements. You don't need to be creative in magic. It's not like writing rap music or doing comedy. You don't need to be creative. In comedy, if you use someone else's jokes, you won't succeed at it. But in magic, it doesn't matter. You can use anyone's trick. If you buy it, the creator will be happy that you used it, matter of fact. So in magic, you don't have to be original. When I was 16, I got one of my biggest gigs at the time, and I was performing a little bit of stage magic for about 70 people or something like that. And you know, I don't feel confident in performing stage magic in magic, but I do feel confident in performing rap music on stage. This one time, I think I performed rap for about 2,000 to 3,000 people, about 2,000 to 2,500 people to be more exact, and I just had a lot of fun, and I wasn't really that nervous. But when it comes to magic, it's a little bit more difficult for me, especially on stage. But in close-up situations, I usually perform magic quite good without any major problems, I guess. Anyways, let me show you one quick trick, alright? So, when I was 16, I got a gig where I was performing stage magic, and I was doing a little bit walk around, and that was great. That was a awesome experience. Oh wait, look, it's gonna jump slowly to the top. Just like that, 7 of hearts. Let me zoom out. I was doing a lot of magic, but in the back of my mind when I was 16 and 15, I mean, I'm 20 now, in the back of my mind, I was always writing raps, just rhyming stuff. And then when I was 17 and 18, I was just perfecting my craft, going to magic conventions, seminars, and lectures. Anyways, let me get back to this deck, and I am gonna be finishing the video off in a moment. I hope that you enjoy this. I mean, I kinda just started doing magic when I was 14 because, I mean, man, like, my life has been kinda horrific in a way because I was moving a lot. I was, you know, I moved to Iceland when I was 4, and then I moved to Denmark when I was 12, and I was changing schools every single year and changing apartments, and I realized when I was 14 I needed to get a hobby, because if I would not get a hobby, I would probably lose my head or commit suicide or something just from being depressed. So I guess I picked magic as a way to, you know, sit in my own world, even if I had to move schools or move apartments, because, I mean, I don't want to go personal, but I guess I picked magic because my mom was always moving and I had to move with her and change schools a lot. I think I changed schools like 10, 15 times, maybe like 15. So magic kept me sane, it kept me calm, and it kept me knowing that I had something to do. Because when you are good at something, then you kinda are good with your head. You know what you're doing and you have everything under control, kinda. So that was kinda how I got started in magic. I got first started in rap music, and then I got started in magic, and now I'm kinda doing both of these things at the same time. And one of the reasons for why I created this channel was to simply improve my English. I wanted to take my English language to the next level, because I really love writing rap music. I love being poetic and putting energy into my words when I rap, especially. Here's a small preview of a rap. Honestly, why do I feel like this? So sick, surrounded by a wall of bricks. Tall and stiff, they're closing in. Makes me wanna jump out of my fucking skin. But I'm frozen to the floor, and I can't even open the oaken door. So it's like I've been getting success, but I need a bit more. Been meeting my fans, which I'm grateful for. Scripting the plan. Oh shit, your pussy is bushy? No biggie, stay with me, just kiss me while I pick up my trimmer and trim you to fit me. You like the sound of my bed while I fuck your brains out from the tip. Times I don't trust you, cause what the fuck you think I'm gonna trust you? Tryna fuck around, I might be another line on your arm you can cut through. You can cut through. Let me draw on your arm, let me fill out the lines with the blood from... Listen, I drive, pedal to the metal, and I try my best. Not stepping back, my life is aimed at success. Been backstabbed by people I respected. Lack the confidence, I neglected the passion, but the positive feedback affected my motivation to a point I would have never expected. Your fake friends wanna see you fuck up, then you grow. So I enjoy music and I wanna improve my rap and my sound and my vocals. I've been working on just pronunciating words as best as I can in the English language for my advantage. A lot of people ask me about my accent. Because I learned Russian as the first language, you know, I went to a Russian kindergarten, and then when I was 4 I moved to Iceland, but I was still speaking Russian with my mom, and I learned Icelandic fluently within I think 16 months or 2 years or something like that. As a child, learning a language fluently is a lot easier than for adults. In Iceland, I kind of developed a Icelandic accent, but I also had a very thick Russian accent. And then when I moved to Denmark at 12, I learned the Danish language within about 8 months, and then it took me 3 years to learn it completely fluently. And right now, I'm really embarrassed to say this, but my Danish is better than my Russian. My Russian is better than my Icelandic because I haven't been in Iceland for I think 7 years. I wanna go there back again. Go to Reykjavik and Akureyri and Keflavik. That's kind of where I lived. I lived in Reykjavik, Akureyri, and Keflavik, and my first YouTube channel was called Jólatippi, which actually means Christmas penis. I and one of my best friends, back when I lived in Iceland, we created that name, and that's what I've been using. I can still understand Russian perfectly and fluently. If someone talks Russian with me, I will talk with them Russian back or English back. But yeah, that's kind of it. I still talk Russian with my mom, grandmother, and family and stuff like that. But thank you guys for watching. You know, I really hope that you enjoy this. If you watched it to the end, let me know. I might give some people some hearts. Yeah, hearts. Everyone loves hearts, right? Wait, let me find a heart. Alright, I think I found a heart. Wait, on top of the deck. There. Hey, look at that heart. Boom. Alright. Wait. What card was it? Do you remember? Wait. Boom! There it was. Hey, 4 of hearts. 4 of hearts. Boom. Just like that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope that you enjoy this. If you want to support this channel, check out TheRussianGenius.com. I do update the products, and if you buy something, it will get updated free of charge. And if the price goes up, then you will still have it because you bought it. But you know what I mean, right? I mean, You don't have to do anything, but check out the website if you want to. Always appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see ya in my next video.